Hello, my name is Asyam, and this is the part 2 of reviewing the book called Money for Beginners. And now we moved on to the value of money. Money isn't valuable in the same way as food, shelter, and water. Humans can live without it. Coins, banknotes, and e-money only have value for a few specific reasons. Number 1. Because government and central banks say so, and everybody believes them. It's the law. Today's money is what's known as fiat money. This means it's only valuable because governments have set laws that say that it's valuable. To help people trust this laws, most governments share responsibility for the money in their countries with a separate organization known as a central bank. The second reason, central banks and governments limit the money supply. Imagine a world in which photographs of cash could be used as cash. Hey, look, a coin on the floor. Who wants it? There's only one. I'll just take a picture and use that. You can keep the coin. This may seem fair as everybody gets money, but if that happened, the original coin and the photos of it would lose all value. If everyone could create unlimited amounts of money, people wouldn't need it from each other, so they wouldn't exchange it for things. In the real world, where only a limited amount of money is available, hey, look, a coin on the floor. Who wants it? There's only one. I do. Pick me. There's only one coin to share between three, so the coin is in demand, making it valuable. Reason number 3. Cash can only be made in specific places under very secure conditions. To make it hard for people to create their own unlimited supply of money, coins and notes are designed to be easy to identify but difficult to copy exactly. Here are some typical design features. Intricate patterns, ridges and lettering around the edges, raised print on notes, hidden designs that can only be detected using UV light. However clever the designs, criminals can still produce fake or counterfeit notes and coins, but it's very difficult. If a banknote has all the features of a genuine banknote, it's almost certainly been made legally, so you can trust it. Digital value. Although e-money isn't in a physical form, we still trust it because it has value for the same 3 reasons. Electronic money can be exchanged for cash, which the central bank and government have declared valuable. Second, there are rules limiting how banks create it and how much they can create. It's possible to produce fake e-money, but the hacking knowledge required to do this makes it just as hard as counterfeiting physical money. Okay, now we move on to currencies. Money isn't the same everywhere. Each country will usually have its own type of money called a currency. People and businesses from the country will expect to be paid in a local currency. Sometimes you need to get money in another currency, whether it's for family trip abroad or business making in an international deal. To exchange one currency for another, you need to know how much the countries cost in relation to each other. That's what's known as an exchange rate. I think I'll need about $100, but know how much is that in euros? You can exchange different currencies at a business called a foreign exchange bureau. It's also often possible to do this at a bank or post office. These places usually display the relative value of each currency on boards like this. Okay, this board shows how much $1 is worth in other currencies. The time and date are shown because exchange rates change all the time. Every currency in the world has a unique 3-letter code name. Places that exchange currencies make money by buying them at one rate and selling them on for more. People with euros who want US dollars need to pay 0.89 for $1. People with US dollars who want euros only get 0.77 for $1. Okay, a currency's value changes all the time, depending on how many people want it. The higher the demand for it, the higher its value. Okay. We have the value and time. If the value of currency has been rising and is expected to rise further, it's said to be a strong currency. An unpredictable or unstable currency isn't desirable because it can mean people stop trusting it. If the value of the currency has been falling and is expected to fall further, it's said to be a weak currency. Being weak isn't always bad. It can help a country's businesses grow by making it cheaper for other countries to buy their goods. There are several reasons why some currencies are in more demand than others. For example, valuing trust, strong business, and political decisions. Let's discuss all of the three. Valuing trust. A currency's value depends on how much people trust that country's government. If people don't, the value of the currency will go down. Strong business. The more business a country does, the higher the demand for its currency. Political decisions. Governments decide how much new money to create. If they reduce the amount, their currency will become rarer, which may make it more expensive. If a currency is both strong and stable, it's likely to become a reserve currency. This means that banks and governments buy that currency to store their wealth. Today, the world's most dominant reserve currency is the US dollar, but countries also use the euro, UK pound, and the Chinese yuan. So our personal finance teacher always told us to store money in dollars. And here we go for the chapter 2. The story of money. Money has been used for at least as long as people have been able to write things down. We know this because many of the oldest examples of writing are receipts and lists of things people owed each other. It's likely, however, that some form of money existed long before this, before it even had a name. As an idea, it seems to have occurred to people all around the world, rather than spreading from one place to another. But how did it end up in the form it is today? Okay, not quite money. The oldest surviving evidence of people using money to trade goods comes from Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, around 9,000 years ago. Before this, historians think people used a mixture of methods to trade with each other. In some instances, people had to barter or trade things. Hi, Ibi, can I please have one of your cows? Sure, if you give me 4 bags of your grain. And as we know, bartering only works if both people have what the other wants. I have more grain for you. Can I have another cow? No, thanks, Nasha. I've got some left over. Maybe Cassette can help. To solve this problem, people bartered with each other until they found something else to trade with. Hi, Cassette. Can I interest you in some of my grain? Yes, please. I don't have a cow, but I can offer you deer skins. I traded my grain for deer skins. Are you interested? You bet. Just what I need to keep warm this winter. Here's your cow. The more people traded, the more they learned about deals other people made. Over time, they started to get a sense of how much things were worth. The people in the hills will trade 2 deer skins for only 3 bags of grain, but I heard they pay 6 bags for a cow. Eek. I've only got 5 bags left. I'm going to have to be a bit more careful with my grain from now on. Sometimes people had the right things to barter with, but they weren't ready at the right time, so they made promises to each other instead. This sort of promise is also known as IOU, short of IOU. You don't happen to have another cow, do you? Have you got any grain? It's not ready to harvest yet, but I promise to give you some when it is. Okay then, I trust you. Although no one used the word money to describe these promises and transactions, all the ingredients of money were there. Nasha used my deer skins as a medium of exchange to trade his grain for Abe's cow. By using bags of grain to measure how much things were worth, we used the grain as a unit of account. EB trusted me, so he gave me his cow in exchange for a promise. Definitely money. We know Mesopotamians used these things as money because they wrote down records of debts they owed each other and how these debts were paid. This is some of the earliest ever writing. Records show they used a grain called barley to measure small sums and silver to measure larger amounts. They may have even used barley seeds and slivers of silver as coins, although none survive. Okay, now we have funny money. At least since Mesopotamian times and all over the world, people have used a variety of things in the same way we use cash today. These simple forms of money varied wildly. Dolphin teeth, I don't know, salt blocks in Africa, metal ingots in Africa and Asia, peppercorns in Europe, tea in Asia, obsidian in Central America, rice stones in Oceania, cocoa beans in Central America, animal skins widespread, cowrie shells Africa and Asia, bronze arrowheads in Europe. These forms of money were often desirable in some way and had their own value. Some were attractive, so shiny. Some were useful. This tea makes delicious drink. Many were very rare. We don't have tangy spices. We have to wait for traders to bring them to us. For example, pepper. But many of them also had drawbacks too. Some came in different shapes and sizes. How much is each one worth? Some were too difficult to move around. How am I supposed to shift this rock? Some didn't last very long. Oh no, rice have been at the cocoa. Some forms had fewer drawbacks than others. For instance, cowrie shells were both rare and desirable. They were also portable, durable, and came in a fairly uniform size. In classical Chinese, the written character of wealth is based on an ancient drawing of a cowrie shell. In China, cowrie shells were such a successful form of money, people started to make bronze copies to use as well. Bronze copies were first used around 2,400 years ago. These small man-made metal objects had a lot in common with another, much more recognizable form of money that was already being used in China and beyond, coins. So you can see here the illustration. Thank you for watching. The part 3 will be soon.